All right, this video is going to be about resumes, and I kind of just want to introduce some of our activities to you. So if you look under week 3, you'll see we have a bad resume examples doc here, okay? I'm also going to upload this PowerPoint, 8 simple rules for resume writing. I'll upload it as soon as I upload this video. So what this is here is we have 8 different examples of bad resumes. Then here we have 8 different rules of things that resumes should do. So let me explain. This is the first PDF, all right? And so each one is labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What you need to do for this activity is I want you to look at the bad example and then write down a rule that you think you should follow. For example, and it should be based off of what they're doing wrong. So here, what's wrong with this resume? What do you think? Now, if you said that the text is difficult to read, you're definitely right. Okay, this is some weird like cursive font that is difficult to read. Now, I could maybe, tour guide, the Exploratorium Museum, San Francisco, California. So I can still read it, but I can't read it quickly. And some of the things I might struggle to read. And if you're not a native English speaker, maybe it's difficult. And so what would be the rule I would come up with here? Well, when writing a resume, make sure the text is highly readable. There you go. And so if you look at our 8 simple rules, choose a clear text style that is easy to read. All right. Now, is there just one thing for each one? No, you could come up with other ones. So actually what I would ask you to do is don't look at the PowerPoint yet, and instead download or open up all of the resumes, and for each one, list maybe 1 to 3 rules that you come up with, or as many as you see. And as you're doing this, it might be helpful to have your own resume open if you've started working on it yet. And this will allow you to kind of look at your own resume and be like, okay, am I doing this? Am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? By the way, they put job experience first before education. Is that right or wrong? It depends on the rhetorical situation. If you think that the job ad requires good job experience more than education, then put that first. But also depends on what you have. If you have no job experience, then maybe that should go last, okay? Or not be there at all. And so it does depend. Now, notice that they have the most recent date and then the oldest date. So it's in reverse chronological order. Is this good or bad? It's good. Okay, we want to see the newest thing first. We don't care about, for me, the first thing would be like I worked at, McDonald's or whatever. I didn't work at McDonald's. I did work at a Mexican fast food. Anyway, not important. That would be the thing that would be first because it's the oldest thing, right? No, we want to know what the newest thing is. And so write it in reverse chronological order. There is a slight issue with the dates here. You generally want to make sure that it's mostly consistent. Now, there is kind of a good reason why they're putting months here, just because it's a single year instead of multiple years. But still, it's a little awkward. We have underlines. We have an underline here, but then no underline here. So I expect there to be consistency throughout. Okay, if you do dates in one way on this way, then do it the same way throughout. If you have underlining for subheadings, then keep it the same throughout. Okay. We're not going to go through every resume, but we'll go through these first couple. What's wrong with this one? Now, in order to know what's wrong with these, you should have done your readings, especially on document design, which is chapter 11 of technical communication. And I expect you to have an understanding of this jargon that I'm going to start using more often, which is jargon like proximity, alignment, repetition, contrast, these concepts, okay? There are others, typography and page layout and spacing and hedging and filtering, all these different concepts that we're learning in technical communication. So what's wrong here? Well, it's a concept connected to the idea of filtering. So when I read a text, when I read a novel, right, we've got Harry Potter in French here. So when I read this book, let's open it up here. If you look at this, it's a novel, and so it's written in paragraph format. So if I asked you to tell me in 3 seconds what this page is about, or 10 seconds, or 5 seconds, it would be difficult because it's written in paragraph format. It's in French, so I guess it would be quite difficult. Can anyone read French here? Harry Donna de Grands Coupe de... I don't speak French. Don't ask me why I have this. I like to get a Harry Potter book in every new country I go to. It's kind of a fun thing to do. Anyway, so when we read a resume, because people who are hiring you have to read 30 or 500 resumes for every job, or 100 resumes for every job, or 50 resumes for every job, they want to be able to pick up the one-page paper. For our assignment, your resume should only be 1 page long, okay? And your cover letter should only be 1 page as well. They want to be able to look at the document and within 30 seconds kind of be able to skim everything. And we can kind of do that a little bit here. It's difficult because the text is difficult to read, right? But we can see, okay, job experience, volunteer work, education. All right, it's broken up into 3 sections. And then we have our dates here on the left, and then we have our jobs. Now, there are some problems with that. Okay, but here, look at this one. If I want to know about different things, yes, there is some filtering techniques. We have experience that's bolded, and we have education that's bolded, and we have references available upon request. But right here, the main problem is that it's written in paragraph format, and it's hard to really see the dates, and it's hard to really see the information because it's written almost like an essay, right? If we go to rule 2, don't use paragraphs. Organize your information. Organize your information in sections and highlight key information. Okay. So like I said, I'm not going to go through every bad example. This is a CV, not a resume, but I think the main idea still stands. The problem here, now say you look at it and you think it's perfect. Well, if you don't know the problem, then yeah, you can go to the resume or the PowerPoint and look. Don't include unnecessary information. Okay. And so based off of that, we can go back over here to number 3 and be like, okay, what's unnecessary? Well, notice here that they list every single class they took and every grade they got on every single class. Like, that's a lot of detail. That's way too much detail. Can you list certain classes that you think fit well? Yeah, if you're a chemical engineer, but you're applying for a mechanical engineer job and you took a class in mechanical engineering, maybe you need to write that you took a class in mechanical engineering, right? And so they're not like, oh, he's just a chemical engineer. He doesn't know anything about mechanical, right? And so sometimes, yeah, you want to list some of your classes. Should you list every class and every grade you got? No, definitely not, right? Okay, so continue to go through these, okay? With your resume, make sure that it is 1 page. For cover letters, we'll talk more about that next week. For now, focus on your resume. Start working on drafting a resume. If you have an old resume, pull it up. You're welcome to use templates online if you want. Any template, any resume template works. If you want to create your design from scratch, that's also okay. But Word has a lot of templates. I think like Canva and different online programs have a lot. Make sure that if you're using an online template for your resume, that it's free. I had quite a few students last semester go through the full process of designing a resume on a website, and then when it came time to download it as a PDF, it asked them to pay. So be very careful with that. You're welcome to use templates if you want. But make sure that it's 1 page. And we'll continue to talk about resumes. If you have questions, you feel free to email me. But I think these resumes that are all lots of bad ideas will give you some good ideas of what you should do, and you can look through these rules, as well as a bunch of final notes that I've included here that I've sort of already talked about, all right? But I'm going to include this on our Moodle, and next week we will go into more detail on the cover letter and exactly what I want out of that, all right? I think that's it. All right. Good luck with your resume. if you have any questions about your resume, feel free to email me. And we might do some kind of workshop with your resumes and cover letters next week if we have the time. So I'll let you guys know about that. Anyway, good luck, and make sure you look through these bad examples so that you can avoid these kind of easy mistakes.